Hello everybody and welcome. I'm excited to introduce a new challenge that I'm taking part in. This is in the Junk Journaling for Everyone Facebook group, and the challenge is to make a fabric journal. So there are no rules other than it needs to be completely made out of fabric. So there's no paper pages, no journaling spots, no paper or anything. It's all going to be fabric, and the size does not matter. It also doesn't matter if you decide to do some slow stitching or if you use your sewing machine. Now, this challenge was inspired by a project that I started last year. So those of you that have been watching my channel for a while know that this time last year I was all packed up ready to move. I think I had everything boxed up by the end of September because it was very up in the air exactly when I was moving. So I decided to keep a box of something out just so I had something to do while I was waiting. So I followed some tutorials, and I want to say it's Roxy Creations. It's called a Journal of Stitchery. If I can find the video, I'll link it down below because it's such a good series to follow if you are into slow stitching. It's two sisters that are doing it, and they explained everything step by step so well. Yeah, if this is something that you're into, absolutely go and check them out. So this was the inspiration for this. So Michelle, who's the group owner, liked the look of this and did say at the time, oh, that would make a really good group challenge. The reason that we've kind of opened it up to just being a fabric journal rather than having to be a slow stitch journal is because I did say that I actually found the slow stitching very difficult. I'm not very good at very fine motor things, even doing fussy cutting with scissors I'm not very good at, which is why I have my Cricut do most of my fussy cutting. So I did find this difficult. I could only slow stitch for sort of 20 to 30 minutes before I had to stop for the evening because it just hurts my hands and my fingers. But this was the journal that I started. It's not finished. It's by no means perfect or any good, really. It is definitely a beginner's slow stitch book. As I've said before with my sewing machine, I know nothing about sewing. While I do use my sewing machine for my journals, I know how to switch between stitches and press the foot pedal to get it going. But that's my knowledge. Even with hand stitching, I did not know how to do any of this. But as I say, the tutorials are fabulous. The two ladies walk you through how to do each of the stitching. It's even broken down, so I think you learn the sort of first 5 in the first video, then the next 5, then the next 5, then the next 5. And they show you lots of different ways that you can use the stitching. I know you probably can't see very well on camera, but I mean, my stitches are rubbish. They really are. They're so loose. You can see on my hoops up here that some of them are quite close together and quite tight. Then you've got these ones which are quite big and quite loose. But I was still really proud of this because, as I said, I'm not a sewer. This is the first time I've tried it. So I was still really pleased with these. But these are the different types of stitches that you are taught. And then it was to make, obviously, a kind of front cover panel. So I did stitch in the words Journal of Stitchery. I did have a go at some of the techniques to make some different flowers, and then I just sort of hand stitched on some different bits of lace and things on the front. And then I just had to play around and I just did a collage page. This was not part of the tutorial, but I just wanted to continue playing with the stitching and the sewing and that kind of a thing. Now, there are prompts that you can follow if you follow this tutorial. And I think it's a really good idea if you kind of have an idea of a theme or something that's going on, whether it's a colour scheme or certain elements that you want to add. So I really enjoyed the prompts that they have. I have not got much further than this. As I say, it did hurt my hands quite a lot. I then obviously moved and set up my new craft room, and then I've just been busy with other things. This may be something that I revisit, or I may include elements of this in this fabric journal. But what I am excited about is, as I said, there are no rules for this one other than it being fabric, which means I can use my sewing machine, which I'm super happy about. Now, in my hand stitch journal, this was all on cotton. For this one, I decided to use felt just because it's a little bit more sturdier. I'm also not going to be using it at this size. So this is currently an A4 size, which is kind of the standard copy of paper here in the UK. I know some of us that are using felt are literally just folding it over, and that's going to be their page because that's what we do often with our journals just because it's easy, no measuring. I personally think this sized page is too big for me. That's quite overwhelming to kind of fill all of that space. So I'm going to make mine smaller, and what I'm going to do is cut my felt in half, and then I'm going to have them this way, and then that's going to be my page size, because for me I think that's less overwhelming and easier to fill. So that's what I'm going to do with my pages. Something else that I'm going to be doing that's a little bit different. So in this one, you kind of had, oops, hang on, they're all stuck together. So you had your kind of base page, which, like I said, I used cotton. And then you had a separate sheet. This is the bit that you would sew on, so your design on, and then you would sew this to the page block. And this time I'm going to do it a little bit different. So imagine that these are the right size. What I'm going to do is decorate this however I'm going to do it. I'm still a little bit undecided there. I'm then going to decorate another page, and then with my two decorated fronts I'm going to put them back to back, so it's hiding all of that horrible stitching at the back, and then I'm just going to sew these together. And then, because this is obviously going to be quite thick with all of the layers of fabrics and stuff, that's probably going to be one signature, as we would know it as a signature, and then I would sew that into the spine of the cover that I'm going to make. Again, still undecided with that. We'll see where that goes. Now for this challenge you have got a lot of time, so this is going to take 2 months. So it started on the 16th of October of this year, so I'm already a little bit behind. Story of my life at the moment. But you have until mid-December. Obviously, if it takes you longer than that, still absolutely fine. But we're going to keep it going in the Facebook group until mid-December. Now, to make it easier and to break it down, what we are doing is some of the admins are putting together videos of introducing how they're doing it, because there are so many different ways that you can make these fabric books. Michelle Lutz, I know, has posted 2, maybe 3 videos at the time that I'm recording this, and she's actually doing an accordion fold style book. So if you are interested in how that's put together, then go and take a look at her videos. Then the other Michelle, the group owner, is doing something similar to me. So she's got, I think she is actually doing the A4 size folded in half. And again, she's released some videos already, so go and check hers out. But she's done these beautiful, beautiful bohemian themed pages where she's stitched on all of her different appliques and things. So yeah, go and check hers out as well. But she's doing a similar style to me. So like I said, you can do this however you wish. I am going to be using my sewing machine. I am going to be cutting these down. I don't know how many pages I'm going to do yet. My thought is, because I'm going to literally decorate aside, stick these back to back, I'm literally just going to make a load of pages and then kind of see where I get by maybe the beginning of December, and then start work on what's my cover going to be and how I'm going to attach them all. I mean, again, my pages aren't going to be this big. They are going to be half that size, so they're going to be that big. We're also breaking it down so that each week, again, ideally, again, you don't have to be at the same speed as everybody else, but ideally, each week, you're then looking at your new page spread. So by next week, I should have my first pages done, and I should be moving on to my second page. And then the third, and then the fourth, and then the idea is that you kind of build this up over the weeks. As I said, you have got until mid-December. That's when the challenge kind of stops. But if it takes you longer, it takes you longer. If you get it done quicker, excellent, you get it done quicker. We've given people this amount of time because those people that do want to hand stitch and are going to be following the kind of slow stitch route, that does take a while to do. Now, that's not to say that you have to necessarily produce a page each week. You may not want your journal to be that big come the end. It may take you longer. It may take you 2 weeks to do a whole spread. That's absolutely fine. That's why we're giving everybody until mid-December, because it gives people plenty of time to get started and to think about how they're going to put it together. Now I will be coming back and doing another video where I will have everything cut up, and I'll have things possibly in place and ready to go with my first spreads, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing and how I'm going about mine. Both the Michelles seem to be doing a lot of hand stitching, so if you want to see that in action, as it should be, then yeah, go and check out those two. Again, their videos are in the events in the Junk Journaling for Everyone Facebook group. I will have it all linked down below. Jess Carpenter, who you'll also know from the group, I think she, like me, is using a sewing machine, so go and check her out as well. She'll be showing her journey and how she's getting on, so make sure you go and take a look at her videos too. I am going to leave it there for today because, as I say, this video was literally just to kind of introduce you to the challenge and explain what I'm doing. So I'm using felt as my base. It will be half this size, but in my next video I will share with you exactly how I'm kind of putting things together, which bits I'm sewing by hand and which bits I will be using my machine for. I really hope that you join in with this challenge. I've never made a proper fabric journal before. This is as close as it got. And I obviously used a hard cover for this one. Again, I don't know what I'm doing for this one yet. But yeah, this is new to me. This is new to many of the admins. Apart from Michelle Lutz, who has done more sort of slow stitching and has more experience than the others. Most of us, this is brand new, so we're all kind of winging it. We're all kind of just doing what we think possibly might be the right way, but as we know with junk journals, there is no right way. It's just whatever makes you happy. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you come and join me for my next video when I'm starting to put this together properly, and I really hope that you come over to the Facebook group and join in the challenge. Thank you very much for watching and listening to me ramble on about a fabric book, and hopefully I will see you all in the next crafty video. I'll see you later now. Bye bye.